New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new role of online shopping with the Finn's TailGate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Finn's TailGate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Your attention, please. This is a public service announcement by the TFTG. Late night sale, Saturdays, 10 p.m. Talks TMI Tuesdays, don't miss. Let them go.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah. I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah, oh yeah, the beast's back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax.
Good morning, Finn fans. Good morning. It is 6:04 a.m. How is everybody doing? It's Wednesday, and yes, the week is halfway over. It's hump day. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, people. We have a wonderful show planned for today. A lot to talk about. We have to stay on schedule, right? Because we have a lot to talk about. We only got 2 hours to squeeze it all in. I hope everybody had a good night last night. A lot of news. We're going to talk about. I may even drop some info that I'm getting from our channel, one of our channel sources. I may drop some info, just so you're aware. So that will be very interesting to find out what that person has to say. Now, currently it is 6:05 a.m. and it's 82 degrees with a high of 88 in Miami, low of 79. Today, it feels currently like 89 as we speak, just so you know. And it has a high humidity of 76%. Today looks like it's partly cloudy mostly, with the chance of rain increasing as we get in today's evening. And overnight, you're going to see a lot more rain, so a lot going on. We got some tropical depressions going on in the area, and I know there's some storms out there, so you see what happens with all of that. But hopefully everyone has a wonderful day today. Now, let's get down to business here. I mentioned some sources. Yes, late last night, we got some info that there's some info that I'm gonna drop, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I'm not gonna drop it quite yet, but once we get some people in here, we'll definitely drop some information. And yeah, it's it's an exciting time to be a Miami Dolphin. A lot of news circulating around Miami. We have the hype going into this season. Miami Dolphins coming off of a preseason win. Certain camp battles for depth and backup positions are starting to come around. And there's even news about maybe new players going to different teams and stuff. And there's some stuff that we're going to bring up, that's been buzzing in the Miami Dolphins community. So I cannot wait to get started. Just waiting on here, giving my co-host a minute to grab a coffee, and we'll get this show going. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. But before I do, let's actually do the rundown. As we mentioned, Fanatics officially licensed everything, right? Get your t-shirts, hats, custom jerseys, and now soon, official NFLPA trading cards for the NFL, brought to you by Fanatics. So you'll probably be able to get those there too. And in addition, every sport you can think of, they virtually have all the flair and gear that you can get, all that kind of stuff at Fanatics. Make sure that you use the link below in the description, right? So make sure you use the link below. In addition, check out Backroom Collections. Backroom Collections, they have a lot of different canvas artwork that you can virtually hang anywhere, from Miami Dolphins to other sports. They do custom stuff. They have little accessories you can get for the little mini helmets that everybody collects. Check out Backroom Collections. They got some really cool stuff there. And let's not forget, with all the content we're pouring out to you guys and the crazy lineup, and I have to tell you, we have some surprise interviews that are coming that are going to blow your mind. That's going to be earth-shattering around these parts. Make sure that you get yourself some energy drink, such as Doobie Energy Drink. It's all smash, no crash. Supposedly you don't get the shaking or jittering, and they're infused with a lot more all natural supplements and vitamins that are more beneficial to the body than some of the byproducts and stuff that some of these other companies put in their product. And if you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money's show. He does reviews and has tried out different flavors. He'll tell you what he thinks specifically in front of you as he drinks it, live reaction. So definitely check out Doobie Energy Drink. And if you'd like to save 10% off of your Doobie Energy Drink or Backrooms collection, make sure you use code #TFTG at checkout. Save 10% off. All right. So shout out to our affiliates. Make sure you use the link below for Fanatics. It's the same as the regular link. You get all the same deals, all the same everything, except it tells them that we sent you, and it gives a little bit of credit to the channel. So we definitely appreciate that. Right. And let's not forget all the content that I just mentioned. We got El Capitan going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe Sundays too. Could call into games. You got Coffee and a Cup of Color, and myself with Top of the Tailgate. We got Broken Takes. I got Late Night Exhale. It's going to be full steam ahead. You got Shake Money with the Drive Time shows and the Smoke Lounges. Lewis backing that up, and then you got Lewis on the Spaces and everything. So, and then let's not forget about KP. I know this Saturday he has a really cool fantasy show for fantasy football. I can't wait to check that out. And there's another show that we're putting in the works that it's going to be really exciting. Let's just put it that way. You're going to have to watch it. And then don't forget Crypto. Crypto had his ground-shaking, earth-shattering show on Monday. It was an all-day marathon in crypto fashion. I loved it. Can't wait to see more of it. I believe he's going tomorrow too. Thursday he has more shows lined up. And then yesterday, debut. He's back. Tonk's back, baby. TMI Tuesdays is back. We all got to participate. It was a lot of fun. Can't wait to do more shows. Tonk's going to be joining me on Broken Takes a lot more as well. So you're going to get myself, Color, Tonk, and everybody else on Broken Takes. We're We're going to start probably recording that this Sunday. So you're going to start seeing shows drop out and throughout the season as well. So can't wait. If you like the content, you want more of it, if you'd like to keep us afloat, we really appreciate it. You don't have to, but if you do, we do accept Cash App, Venmo. We also have super stickers, super chats. But I would hit like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell. That's the best thing that you can do. Because one, it notifies you when we have a show. Two, you're turning on the notification bell so you can be notified right away. And three, obviously, like the show, because that helps us out in the algorithm and helps get the word out so we can expand the content, expand the show, the channel, and everything, and bring more stuff to you guys. So definitely appreciate all that. Shout out to our memberships. You want the easiest way to donate to the channel, and it's not very expensive at all. Become a member. We have 3 different levels. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP. You get exclusive content that we put out throughout the season. You get exclusive emojis that nobody else can use in the chat, and there's the other benefits that go along it depending on what level you are. I think the lowest level is like $2 or $3 a month, something like that. So definitely check out members. We wouldn't be here without you. Thanks to all the members in the chat and everybody. So definitely appreciate you. And check out TFTGnetwork.com, right? One-stop shop for TFTG everything. We have our articles and blogs, our full playlists you can find there. We're going to have news and stuff around the TFTG parts that will be on there. You'll be able to see up-to-date Miami Dolphins news feed there, along with our Twitter tweets and everything. There's so much more we're going to be putting on the website, so definitely go check it out. Sign up for the newsletter, right? Because the newsletter is going to keep you informed and update you on lots of stuff that we're going to have going on throughout the season and so on. And it saves you 10% off of your first order on the merch store, which the merch store is loaded. I mean, beyond loaded with stuff that you can get from t-shirts to playing cards, home goods, blankets, towels, everything. They have everything on there, something for everybody. And everything we have there, at some point, people that were on the panel, the chat, our fans, everybody had some way to inspire what we put in there. So definitely check it out. We'd really appreciate that. Make sure, like I said, check out TFTGnetwork.com. Now, with that being said, without ado, let's give this guy some good music to be brought into. And I know what he likes. Good morning, Color.
Good morning, and let job be praised. How you doing, Ali?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. That's your official intro music from now on. I know you get down with that jam, so.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you do.
I'm ready to go, man. That just made me happy.
Definitely, Color. So yeah, man, it's 6:15. We have a packed show tonight, or this morning. I'm sorry, we're live now. Morning. Yeah, this morning we have a packed show, and there's a lot to talk about. I'm a hard stop at 8. I might be able to go 5 minutes more, but that's the most I'll be able to do. So let's get moving with this, right? Coffee of the week. Now, Color, I did tell you I do have a special type of coffee that I'm going to review, but that coffee we're going to do on Friday since I don't work the next day. All right. That coffee I think is something I should probably save for Friday. What do you think? Color, did we lose you?
No, not at all.
Okay. I asked that question. Do you think I should save it for Friday?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a statement.
Well, I'm telling you, I want to save it for Friday. But what are your thoughts? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Little teaser.
I got something special to try. It's along the lines of something like what Shake Money had. It's something different when it comes to coffee. So I wanted to save that for a special occasion. But as its coffee of the week is Publix coffee, Publix premium coffee. Great taste, very similar to the great brands that you've seen and seen us try before, as well as it's considered to be one of the premium coffees, but it's more on the lower end of the premium, right? It's better than your Great Value or your basic off-brand or whatever, but gives you that taste like you get from an 8 o'clock or a Green Mountain coffee or like Seattle's Best or the top branded coffees that we may review. They use 100% Arabica beans. I'm drinking the breakfast blend. It doesn't taste very bitter. The aroma is pretty good when it's brewed. I like the taste. So, are you drinking any coffee right now, Colin?
I am, and it is one last final cup of 8 o'clock coffee this morning, and then I will be having Tim Hortons. So by the end of the show, I'll be drinking Tim Hortons original blend.
Yeah, and if you did not know, as we've reviewed 8 o'clock coffee before, 8 o'clock coffee, the reason they changed the name is they somehow verified the best time to drink coffee was around 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. at night. So that's why they call it 8 o'clock coffee.
And that's East Coast time, or?
It's 8 o'clock somewhere.
Every 8 o'clock. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. So 8 a.m., 8 at night. Is what it is. But that's my coffee of the week. Do you have anything else to add to coffee of the week at all?
I do not.
All right. Cause for cleats. Now, this one was kind of interesting. I tried to research this a little bit, and the website's a little bit different, so it's not like your normal charity. But I wanted to bring it up. And before I bring this up again, we're not affiliated with any of these causes. We're just bringing awareness. You never know who in our community may need a cause like this or may need resources from a cause. So we're just bringing awareness. That's all. That's the only affiliation that we have. So today's cause for cleats is called Made by Dyslexia. And you can go to madebydyslexia.org for more information, just so you know. Made by Dyslexia, their purpose, they're a global charity led by successful dyslexics. We've built the world's largest community of dyslexic people and our allies. Our purpose is to help the world to learn dyslexia, to understand it, to value it, and to support it. We believe in the game-changing power of dyslexic thinking. After all, everything from the light bulb to the iPhone, the aeroplane, to the motor car was invented by a dyslexic mind. And our skills vital in shaping the future too. Their mission is to train every teacher and help every workplace to spot, support, and empower every dyslexic mind. The mission is outlined with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and we aim to achieve this by 2030. We're asking every school across the world to allow every teacher to take a day for dyslexia and skill up using our free online training to help workplaces. We've created guides to empower dyslexic thinking in every workplace. So, just so you know, dyslexia influences as many as 1 to 5 people and is a genetic difference in an individual's ability to learn and process information. As a result, dyslexic individuals have differing abilities and strengths in creative, problem solving, and communication skills, and challenges with spelling, reading, and memorizing facts. Generally, a dyslexic cognitive profile will be uneven when compared to a neurotypical cognitive profile. This means that dyslexic individuals really do think differently. Traditional benchmarking and disadvantaged dyslexics measuring them against the very things they find challenging. So, unlike popular belief, dyslexia is not just seeing a word backwards color. You may mix up facts, for example, just thinking. And it's almost like you're playing a Rubik's Cube in your mind constantly. You know what I'm saying? That there's a lot of different things that may have a symptom of dyslexia that may not be the same as others. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So what dyslexia Made by Dyslexia does, like they said, they have free online training to help people understand, empower, and employ people with dyslexia, as well as they've gotten involved with various different products to help people with dyslexia become more successful. As far as even, getting involved with charity getting involved with AI is the word I was looking for. AI to help, they're using AI and other resources and technology, for this. Now, I was going back thinking about all the people that are dyslexic. There's been a lot of successful people dyslexic.
I already know of one, Ollie.
Go for it. Go ahead, tell me. Who do you know?
When I was a little boy in elementary school, I am back really when I was young. I was taking one of those aptitude tests or whatever in one of my classes, and there was a reading comprehension section, and you know how they always have like these random stories that have nothing to do, like you're not meant to really care about the story, you're just supposed to read it and then answer questions about it, you know what I mean? Well, there was a particular one of these little clips, one of these little snippet stories in this reading comprehension test I was taking, and the story happened to be about this guy, famous actor, who grew up with dyslexia. I know it sounds really odd that that's what the snippet was about, but that's what it was about. And this person, I found out, I was 7 years old. This person happens to be Tom Cruise, actor.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is dyslexic.
Yeah. And here's a good one, color. Keira Knightley.
No kidding.
Yeah. Richard Branson is dyslexic.
Isn't he a billionaire or something?
Yeah, I believe he owns like a massive hotel chain, as well as isn't he the guy that owns Virgin Mobile? I think it's Virgin Mobile.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he was the guy, I think, that was competing with Elon about creating a commercial flight to outer space. I think he's the guy that was that is the guy, yep. Yeah. And then here's a big one, and this guy plays the main role, one of our favorite movies, color. Orlando Bloom is this.
Oh yeah, who also has played in a movie with Keira Knightley.
Yeah, and
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Definitely, and these are all just a tidbit of some of the people in our lives that are successful that have dyslexia. And actually, it's kind of funny because I'm looking at some of the YouTube's they're Made by Dyslexia has their own YouTube channel and podcast, and I was watching some of their videos. Tom Cruise was one of the people that they mentioned. Here's another one. Albert Einstein. Can't get any more successful than that. Magic Johnson, color.
Well, there is a bit of irony in Albert Einstein, because I'm pretty sure that some of the research we've done that help people with dyslexia probably came from like our understanding of quantum mechanics and all that. So,
Yeah.
it's
Magic
kind of
Johnson.
ironic.
Yeah, Magic Johnson had dyslexia. Or has it, I should say. Yeah. See, the biggest thing is
Among
about
other
people.
things, but yeah, that's interesting to know. Magic Johnson, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Magic Johnson is now a NFL owner, bro. He owns like he owns portions of 3 different franchises, throughout 3 different sports. Basketball, I believe he
God,
owns part of the
can you
Lakers.
imagine if Albert Einstein was not dyslexic? What would E equals MC squared look like?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But these are some of the like interesting factoids in regards to dyslexia and whatnot, is that it doesn't discriminate, and even the most famous people could have it. The thing
Yeah, that
about
could be why
dyslexia-
he was so kind of apprehensive towards learning like the actual mathematics and all that. He had to kind of force himself to learn all the math in order to qualify for his professorships and all that. But he didn't care one iota about the math, other than having to learn it for practical purposes.
But
Probably because he struggled with it. You know what I mean? Like as far as writing and all that.
That's what I think is like the important part here. Basically, having dyslexia allows your mind to think things out differently, or like the outside the box mentality. You know what I mean? You're thinking something outside of what could be real to think of different possibilities. And I think that's kind of goes along the line with Albert Einstein and how the way he thought, as a physicist and whatnot. So interesting. If you'd like to know more about Made by Dyslexia, again, you can go to madebydyslexia.org. They're a global charity. You can donate, learn more about the different resources that they provide, as well as, like I said, the downloadable tools to help you understand dyslexia, how to empower it, how to deal with it, and whatnot. And they have a lot of different information there that you can read. If you know anybody that needs this type of assistance, send them over to madebydyslexia.org. So that is our cause for cleats. Anything else you'd like to say about that color before I move on to the next?
No, absolutely great cause. Great cause.
Yeah,
it's another one of these that facilitates a better world and a more practical world for people with these types of issues.
Yeah, definitely. So the next one is everyone's favorite, what in the world, right? And I don't have a lot to talk about what in the world because Twitter was really imploded with other stuff going on with the Miami Dolphins specifically, as well as other stuff.
This segment reminds me of Vince Lombardi, man. What in the world is going on out there?
Yeah, that's kind of where I took it from, Colin. But I'm just going to give you 2 different tidbits that I noticed that were kind of hilarious, as well as like, are you got to be kidding me type things. Actually, not one of them's hilarious to be. You got to be kidding me.
Right.
The other one is more serious. And I wouldn't be saying, "Are you kidding me?" I'd be like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" Like, holy shit, type of thing.
Right.
So I got to be straight up. I'm not laughing at it. I'm like concerned type of looking at it. So the first one, we'll mention this, and this has to do with newly drafted Tennessee Titan quarterback Levis signs a lifetime Hellman's mayonnaise sponsorship contract, right? So originally, I thought this was some type of stunts because there's a video that Hellman's put out of him doing a press conference, and he's sitting there talking about how he's the first athlete ever to get a lifetime supply of Hellman mayonnaise mayonnaise, and that's how they're paying him, right?
Wow.
And during the press conference, he's taking mayonnaise and pouring it into his coffee and drinking it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh
are you
man,
kidding me?
is he really committing that sacrilege, bro? Come on, man.
But come to find out, this isn't the first time. He's the guy that made the video go viral, and that's why they wanted to sign him, because he was
Oh
crazy
my
enough to
gosh.
do that, bro.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Only in Tennessee. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, so let me just read this real quick. So Tennessee Titans quarterback and well-known mayonnaise advocate Will Levis has signed a dream sponsorship deal. Unilever, I think that's how you pronounce the company name, parent company of
Unilever, yeah, out of Sikeston, Missouri, as a matter of fact. I know them quite well.
Interesting. They are the parent company of Hellman's Mayonnaise,
as well as just about every ice cream you put in your mouth.
Announced Tuesday, it has signed Levis to a lifetime sponsorship contract. Front Office Sports said the first athlete to sign Hellman's parent company, known for putting mayonnaise in its coffee. His coffee, yeah. So that'd be an interesting interview to have on coffee of the week color. Putting Hellman's mayonnaise.
Yeah, no doubt. The Hellman's mayonnaise guy, the guy that puts mayonnaise in his coffee. Yeah, for
Levis
sure.
went viral 2 years ago when a video of him putting mayonnaise in his coffee began circulating around the internet. Levis proved it wasn't a one-time thing last year when he was asked about it during an SEC media day. In a recent interview with Tyler Dragon of USA Today, Levis explained how the viral video brought him to the attention of higher ups at Hellman's. That video was viral, and I raised some eyebrows from that. Levis said, "From there, mayonnaise has been irreplaceable with me and my brand. Must have caught the eye of the people over at Hellman's, and it turned into..."
Yeah, they're like, finally, we got an NFL player to sponsor.
Yeah, so that's how that happened. You know, I posted something because I saw this video, and you can go to my Twitter and see it. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 days ago. I posted, it says, puts something to the effect of, are they really creating Levis and mayo, kind of like lettuce and mayo, but I put Levis and mayo.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And you can see the video, or commercial, I should say, for Hellman Mayonnaise, where Levis is doing a press conference about it, and they made it sound kind of real the way they were asking questions and stuff. Wow. And it reminded me of I don't know if you remember this Adam Sandler movie, Don't Mess with the Zohan. You remember that?
I'm familiar with it. Never watched it though.
Okay, it is hilarious. It's very funny. Being partial Middle Eastern, you know, it makes fun of Middle Easterns and people from that region. And I thought it was funny.
Well, as long as you sign off on it, we're all right.
Well, I'm Persian, and come on.
We got cover, people. You're allowed to laugh at it.
It is funny. It is funny. To an extent.
Right.
But there's a scene where Zohan is hanging out, Adam Sandler's character is hanging out with his family at the dinner table. And the father is sitting there, and he's drinking his coffee. And Zohan says, "Yeah, I love sitting here eating hummus with you." And he looks at the table, and it's nothing but plates of hummus, like all over, like hummus everything. And next thing you know, the father's taking a spoon and taking hummus and putting it in his coffee, and rotating it and drinking it, and you're just like, what the hell, you know? And then he's taking hummus and dipping his glass, the one arm of his eyeglasses, and in the hummus, and then licking it off, and it's like, oh my god, you know. So that's what this kind of reminded me of, and I'm like, what in the world? Are you serious? You know what I mean?
And I don't think the irony can be lost on the fact that this guy's last name is Levi's, and he gets a sponsorship from Hellman's. Like, no jeans? I mean, I figured he'd be a shoe-in for some 501s or something, you know?
Yeah, so...
All rights reserved, by the way.
Yeah, so
apparently, I read a story the other day that Levi's sued a non-profit charity because they called themselves 501 Homes or something. You know, they were a charity that was trying to help out 501c3 3C companies or whatever, with help and all that. And so they named themselves with 501 in the name, and Levi's sued them. They had to change their name. A charity.
Yeah,
Really?
It was kind of funny. So,
it was T-shirt company. 501 Tees is what they called themselves.
Yeah. So it's an interesting story with the whole Levis thing. I mean, I don't know if they're paying him solely in mayonnaise, but that's what they basically made out in the video that they made. And they actually asked him a question. So if you're getting paid solely with mayonnaise, how is your agent getting paid for his portion? And Levis goes in the commercial goes, well, we did talk about it for a little bit. We haven't discussed specifics, but I do know that he really likes that garlic aioli mayonnaise that they have.
Oh God.
So they're going all four into this whole thought that he's getting paid with mayonnaise, bro. I'm just telling you, it's kind of funny.
Right. And if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you get Miracle Whip.
Yeah. All right. The next what in the world is more of a serious tone. So I had to start off with the funny because this is not so serious, and prayers to this person. But I just wanted to, it was kind of a crazy story a little bit. Caleb Farley, who's I believe a corner with the Titans, father Robert dies after explosion at Titans cornerback's home. One was injured.
Wow.
So if you didn't hear, there was Caleb Farley's home exploded, right? And there was someone that was that had passed away, and they hadn't reported. Now they reported that it was his father. And prayers to the Farley family.
Wow.
And everything. And
that is such a random accident, bro. That's amazing.
Yeah. So if you see this home, I don't even know how, Caleb Farley, how even he came away unscratched in this. Amia White posted this, but these are some photos of the before and after. And
I'm guessing a propane tank explosion of some sort.
The whole house is gone color.
Right. And a lot of places in the Midwest still use gas a lot. You know what I mean? Like gas furnaces and all that. So.
And I was thinking that maybe there was a gas leak of some kind. That's maybe
usually what it is in a random explosion like that.
Yeah, and the whole house came down. So it's sad that his father passed away, but it could have been a lot worse. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of
like the whole definitely. As far as
nothing is as bad as losing his father. I mean, trust
me,
I know.
I'm sure there was more than just his father in the building. So I guess you could look at it like that.
I don't know if he has any children. I didn't see that. But that's something that could have happened. And it's just.
Everybody make sure you have your gas guy come out and check all your valves and stuff, man. Dang. I don't know if that's what caused it, but I can only imagine. I can't think of many other reasons for a house to randomly explode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
I can think of other reasons, but not any that an NFL athlete would be involved with. You know what I mean? You would like to think anyway.
I'm gonna go with the fact that I think that based on where this is at, I think that it may have been some form of gas leak, in the home or something.
Yeah.
It's really sad, and my prayers go out to the family. Like I said.
Yeah, no doubt. That's terrible.
So I'm sorry to go from comedy to more extreme, seriousness, but so that's kind of what happened not overnight, but I would say within the last day or so. That was kind of interesting.
Sorry, Ollie. If I randomly pull up comments, it's because hit my phone. My hand hit my phone.
Oh, no worries. So just so you're aware, there's no update on the Sandra Bullock and Blindside and the Tui family lawsuit. No update there. I'll keep that one as a live one that we'll update on because I find that one kind of interesting. For what in the world? But let's
Yeah.
keep it going, Color. Before we get into the dolphin stuff and the news that I know people want me to drop and
Dolphin
all that kind of
stuff.
stuff.
Who
Yeah.
wants to talk about dolphin stuff, man? God.
So before we get into that, I want to shout out to people. Hold on one second. Where is
Bunch of nutcases about the Dolphins, man. God.
Okay.
Day in and
I want to
day
shout
out.
out to people in the chat. We have a lot of people in the chat, and
Yeah, I did
get
too,
really
man,
good-
because I've been neglecting them lately, bro. C. Heffel. Let's see who else we got.
Brian's Brains, Flava J, Trucker Sean, always here. Heather Long, morning.
Yeah, this Heather. She's into the coffee, bro. I already like her.
She's here all the time now.
Mhm.
Not to mention Meyer gas station has. Wow. Okay. So if you didn't know what Myers were, if you're from South Florida, Myers is a Midwest version of Walmart. It's not a Walmart company, but they're virtually like the same exact thing. Huge.
Oh,
chain.
yeah, I remember Myers. Yeah.
There are some things I like better at Myers than I do at Walmart. So, but they at their gas stations, they have amazing salted caramel coffee. I'm not a big fan of caramel or caramel. Sorry, caramel. So, or however you say it. Are you a fan of caramel, Color?
I do like a little touch every now and then, but caramel is one of those ones like hazelnut that can be really, really overpowering. I mean, you could put a drop in your coffee and you're smelling caramel for a week. That's my only thing with it. But I do like the taste, absolutely.
Yeah. So we also got John Featherland in here, Mansa Chill,
Trucker Sean.
Trucker Sean,
Always on the room. I see Lewis
Ohio
just
guy.
coming in.
Who else do we got?
Adam Sadowski. Mr. Polk.
Mr. Polk here. Awesome. Great.
Got Nah 420. Nah 420 looking for a conversation. And you know, coming in the morning.
McLean. What's up, Mr. McLean? Trying to see. We got Michael K up in here.
Me and Nah 420 been playing musical chairs with getting in touch with each other.
Yeah.
So he came by to say hi. Appreciate you, Nah 420.
Trying to see if there's a delusional Patriots fan is in here. Lewis, good morning, sir. Good morning. Lewis, if you want to come on up, please do. We got
delusional missed my talk yesterday about
we're dropping.
Oh yeah, and
about yesterday.
Delusional missed my talk yesterday, my rant yesterday about Chris Greer and getting the last Patriot out of our building.
How do you say that last person that is populated in the chat? How would you say that name? I am Touche,
or I am Touche.
I didn't want to say it incorrectly, but thank you for
joining the double E could signify an accent, so I would say it's Touche. You know what I mean? Like that's how you spell out the accent. You know what I mean? Because it's supposed to be an E with a little accent. You know what I mean for Touche, but you can't spell that out because you know it's not in the fonts. So you use double E, Touche.
Yeah. So thank you for joining. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. All right.
Well, Mom said she pulled in, but I don't see her anywhere.
All right, so let's get.
I'm gonna lose my connection here in about 30 seconds, Ollie. It'll come back in about. It'll be over about a 2-minute turnaround.
Okay. All right. So I won't start with the news yet. I'll wait for you here to be here.
Well, you can start because, like I said,
I'm talking about with the sources thing. I won't.
Oh, yeah. Hold off on that. Hold off on that for a second.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I want to know. I'm just as much in the dark as everybody else.
That's why you get them from a source.
Yep. That's why this show is interesting, because you know you get live reaction from the team. I don't know what Ali's got.
Well, we will talk about it.
Oh, by the way, a quick TFTGnetwork.com weather report for Palm Beach County. It is currently raining.
There you go. How's the roads? Do you know yet?
So far, I don't know yet, but I can imagine they're pretty. You got school, started back up a couple weeks ago. You got school started back up a couple weeks ago. You got it raining today. I'll be able to tell you more in about 10 minutes, but I'd imagine it's pretty ugly out on the roads. So buckle up, be safe, keep your distance, obey the school zones, and drive safe.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with our stock up, stock down report color while you're getting situated. And when you get back, let me know, and then we can get into the other stuff. I wanted to kind of keep the other content because it's all related with the same thing that the sources might give us some information. So we'll talk about that together. All right. So we're going to talk about give our usual stock up, stock down report that Omar Kelly puts out. We'll talk about it. Currently, stock up, strong safety, Deshaun Elliott. Yes. Earlier on in training camp, Deshaun Elliott was not really showing up, was not really performing at the level that they wanted. But as of late, he has started to flash. He's starting to fit in and, put in the work. Elliott, who has 35 NFL starts on his resume, has had a decent but unspectacular camp. That explains why he hasn't locked down the starting spot next to Javon Holland. Plenty will be determined from now until the start of the regular season with that position. So it's good thing that Elliott had one of his better training camp practices picking off to a pass intended for Braxton Berrios. He was also extremely effective during Miami's red zone work, but his short area work isn't the issue. It's his lack of range that has left the door open for Elijah Campbell and Verone McKinley. Elliott needs a strong week of practice and a solid game performance against Jacksonville Jaguars to lock down the week 1 starts. Interesting. Not ending with that safety, let's go on to the next one. Free safety, Javon Holland. Holland picked off Skylar Thompson on a pass intended for Cedric Wilson that Xavier Howard knocked out of Wilson's hands. It was one of the handful of interceptions Holland has pulled in the training camp as he's worked to adjust to a new scheme, which features him being used in numerous roles, handling various responsibilities on play-by-play basis. Considering the Dolphins' defense is built around Holland, let's hope that he's capable of handling everything that's put on his plate, and the Dolphins find a safety who complements him. That's their main goal, is to find a safety that complements him, that works well with him, with all the different things that he's going to be responsible for. They want someone that has good chemistry with him. Elijah Campbell could be that person. Deshaun Elliott could be that person, and then we know his school buddy Verone McKinley. So we'll see what happens with that. Last but not least, sticking with the defense, defensive tackle Raekwon Davis. Davis has taken an extensive amount of snaps the past 2 weeks because of Christian Wilkins' hold in, I should say. And the 6'7", 340-pound nose tackle has progressively gotten better at collapsing the pocket, producing quarterback pressures and sacks. During Monday's red zone and goal lines centric work for Davis, recorded 2 would-be sacks on Tua and gave Connor Williams fits all practice. Does this mean Davis is ready to replace Wilkins? No, but it hints he might be able to handle 30 snaps per game workload without a massive drop-off in effectiveness. Interesting. That is very, very interesting. I'm glad to see Raekwon Davis is starting to kind of build his traction and stuff, and putting it out on the field. Stock down, and Color may not like this one, but he has openly admitted that he's willing to accept it based on what he's seeing. Tailback Myles Gaskin's stock is down. Gaskin was sidelined for a week with an undisclosed injury, and upon his return, he wasn't as sharp as he usually is. During goal line work, Gaskin dropped with would have been a rookie quarterback James Blackman's first touchdown throw of training camp during 11-on-11 work. Gaskin quickly responded by catching a touchdown pass from Tua. Gaskin could be one of the last players on or off the field. or on or off the Dolphins 53-man roster. I'm sorry, which means having sharp, crisp practices until next Tuesday cuts are critical. Yeah, so Gaskin hasn't looked good. He dropped a would-be touchdown for the undrafted rookie, Blackman. So that's kind of sad that didn't happen. But why is Color okay with this? Well, Savan Ahmed has finally started to establish himself. You got guys like him performing. You got guys like Devon Achane. You got guys like Raheem Mostert, and let's also not forget about Chris Brooks. Chris Brooks is starting to make a name for himself. People around here really like him, and then they're thinking that he could make the 53-man roster. A lot to talk about with this running back room, specifically what the next couple things we're going to talk about. I think it's going to be one of the most talked about things for within the next 48 hours or more, at least for the rest of this week, possibly. Color, are you back? You still with us?
Yes, sir. I'm here, and as I suspected, traffic is terrible.
I gotcha. All right, so very good. So that was our stock up, stock down report. Gaskins is down. The safety position is up, both with Javon Holland and Deshaun Elliott, which Deshaun Elliott was our free agent pickup this year, so I'm definitely glad to see that. In addition, Raekwon Davis is starting to pick it up and do his good work that we need from him on the defensive line as well. Damn, Trucker Sean throwing shade at Gaskins. Don't look, Color. Don't look. Just don't look. That was funny. All right, so Color, let's talk about this. Let's actually first bring up this article from Omar. It is the subject line of the news that I was gonna kind of drop. That at least the news that's being reported from a source. So that's basically kind of where we're at, right? Let me bring this up. All right, so Omar Kelly's pretty much the headline for Sports Illustrated Fan Nation, or All Dolphins, I'm sorry. Taylor drastically would elevate the Dolphins roster. So we've been talking Jonathan Taylor, right? As long as it doesn't involve a first-round pick, Dolphins should do what's necessary to pull off a trade, according to Omar. Jonathan Taylor is a finishing move. So basically, he's saying that Jonathan Taylor, for you video gamers, if you want to call it that, he would be the fatality move in Mortal Kombat, in a sense, right? In the wrestling and video game world, particularly the one-on-one fighting games, that's a special attack dedicated to knocking out an enemy that is on the brink of defeat in a spectacular manner. A finishing move is about adding some style, injecting some sex appeal, providing the sizzle, and that's exactly what the 2023 Miami Dolphin roster is lacking. I do agree with him there. We are lacking the sizzle or the fire, to the roster. You know what I'm saying, Color? I kind of agree with that concept. Despite all the additions made this offseason, I've now watched enough of this team, minus all-pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey, who is likely sidelined with a knee injury until December, to conclude that Miami is a playoff contender. I don't want to be a playoff contender, Color. I want to be a Super Bowl contender. The roster has the talent to produce double-digit wins, but Miami isn't at the Super Bowl contending level just yet. Are you kidding me? God. These Dolphins aren't ready to dethrone Kansas City Chiefs, who have won 2 of the last 4 Super Bowls, or the Buffalo Bills, the AFC East champions for the past 3 seasons. And based on the teams and talents, based on I'm watching daily, I'd expect Miami to struggle with Joe Burrow's Cincinnati Bengals and Aaron Rodgers' New York Jets, especially after last week's acquisition of Pro Bowl tailback Dalvin Cook. General Manager Chris Greer can't be watching this team daily and think otherwise. The AFC is stacked. It's the home of the most of the NFL's elite quarterbacks, and the Dolphins have a decent roster, but one that's lacking something. These Dolphins are missing a finishing move, another weapon in the backfield that keeps opposing coordinators up at night. And the player is Taylor, who sources say the Dolphins have had discussions about acquiring since the Indianapolis Colts allowed his agent, South Florida
Wait,
based. Were you saying something, Color?
no, I was saying Taylor. You mean Jason Taylor? I thought he retired.
Jonathan Taylor. We've been talking about Jonathan Taylor this entire time. Come on, Color. All right.
I know.
Yeah, so they've had discussions about acquiring since the Dolphins Colts allowed his agent, South Florida-based Malaki Kawa, to work out the parameters of a trade with other teams. The Dolphins are interested in Taylor, a 24-year-old who has averaged 5.1 yards per attempts in 756 career carries for obvious reasons. The Dolphins seriously considered drafting him with the 2020 first-round pick. The franchise used to select corner Noah Igbenogany and now has a chance to right a franchise wrong. The biggest question is whether the deal, or deals, plural, can get done. And at what expense? What does Jonathan Taylor want? What would Miami have to send Indianapolis in draft picks and players to acquire Taylor? And what type of multi-year deal can Miami get done with Taylor to consummate the trade? Let us start by addressing these questions in order of importance. To get the table with Taylor and his agent, Miami would need to hammer out a framework of a new contract for Taylor. Indianapolis unwillingly to do so, and why that relationship has soured. So if you didn't know, Jonathan Taylor's issue with the Indianapolis Colts has been primarily because they've been unwilling to sign him for the long-term contract that he feels that he's deserved. And they don't really, they've been kind of fiddle farting with that, and that's why it's kind of imploded with he said, she said, and some nasty work on Twitter and whatnot between their owner and Jonathan Taylor's camp. Now, this is similar situation to those in which the Miami found itself during the courtship of all-pro receiver Tyreek Hill and pass rusher Bradley Chubb before their deals delivered them to Miami. Both got pace-setting contracts, and Dolphins owner Stephen Ross has never shied away from greenlighting those types of deals. Taylor seemingly intends to help reset the depressed tailback market, which means the contract pays him $12 to $14 million a season for the next 3 years. I only count guaranteed money when hypothesizing deals is the goal. What do the Colts want for Taylor? The Colts likely are requesting a first-round pick, and after they realize that that's an unreasonable request for tailback with an expiring contract who is forcing his way out of Indianapolis, the Colts probably would settle for a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 third-round pick selection, which is the equivalent of a mid-level first-round pick. The Dolphins should be willing to send those draft picks to Indianapolis Colts on the team's recent trade history, but Miami potentially would have the desire to unload some players. Talents like Jeff Wilson, Emmanuel Ogbah, or Cedric Wilson to further facilitate the deal. Moving any of those three players would create some financial relief, which is the Dolphins' need. And Taylor at what player's expense? And what's up, Lewis? How you doing?
Hey, morning, gentlemen. How are you guys?
Pretty good, man. I'm just reading this article by Omar Kelly about Jonathan Taylor. There's some info that's being reported out there that I think we should share. So
Okay.
From the sources, so we'll definitely we'll talk about that as well, and my prediction with that being said. So we'll see here. So let's continue this real quick. It's almost over with. So at what player's expense, right? The Dolphins already are 32 million over the projected cap in 2024, and we'll have some roster purging, contract restructuring to do next offseason to keep the present roster together if the goal is re-signing more than a half a dozen of key players who are impending free agents. That could mean Miami must pick between Taylor now and signing impending free agent like Captain Christian Wilkins, starting defensive tackle Zach Seiler, and offensive lineman Robert Hunt, and Connor Williams to multi-year contract extensions. From where I sit, that's an easy decision for Miami because Taylor is a top 5 talent at his position, and Wilkins, Seiler, Hunt, and Williams aren't at this time. According to sources, Wilkins is demanding an annual salary that comes close to doubling what Taylor is expecting to receive, which is why an extension hasn't been finalized. That's an interesting tidbit, Color and Lewis, because if according to what sources say, Taylor wants 12 to 14 million, right? And this person is saying that Wilkins is asking for double that. Does that mean that he's asking between 24 and 28 million dollars a season? Holy shit, 28? I wouldn't pay Christian Wilkins that.
I wouldn't pay Christian Wilkins 24 neither.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the most I'm going is maybe 21 mil. That's the most I'm at. Maybe. And that's a maybe. You know what I mean?
Right.
But holy shit. Damn. Wilkins services who also can be secured for 2024 by using the franchise tag. While creating that kind of cap space, 22 million, won't be easy for the Dolphins. His second year cap numbers would be in $18 to $21 million range if he received a multi-year extension in the neighborhood of Quentin Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and Javon Hargrave got this offseason. How much better does Taylor make the Dolphins? That's the big question. What are we getting out of this, right? If the goal is to put together a complete roster, the starting point would be to improve Miami's running game, which averaged 6.2 rushing yards below the league average of 102.5 yards per game. Last season, the Dolphins produced the 7th fewest rushing yards per game, 99.2, and attempted the second fewest carries, 22.9 per game last season. That's not ideal for an RPO offense, which is supposed to lean heavily on the run game. A talent like Taylor would take some of the pressure off Tua because his presence in the backfield would open up the passing game more, and more reliable run game would help open up the field for Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. It also would benefit the defense, potentially allowing that unit to rest more if Miami's time of possession is increased and the Dolphins had a more efficient short yardage game. The bottom line is adding a talent like Taylor is a way to improve every aspect of the team, and sizing on the opportunity outweighs the potential cost of the Dolphins are truly living for today, making a Super Bowl run in the next 2 seasons and worrying about tomorrow in 2024. Miami needs to finish off the roster by pulling the trigger on acquiring Taylor, giving the franchise a chance to compete with Chiefs, Bills, Bengals for AFC supremacy. And that's what it's all about. Why are we making all these moves for nothing? Why not put the finishing move on it and be that contender that we want to be? Isn't that the big question, Lewis and Color? Don't you agree? Why did we break this whole team down for nothing? You know what I mean? In 2019.
1,000%.
Why did we...
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Ali. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Why did we, make the trades that we did to bring Jalen Waddle here? Why did we go and make the trades to bring Tyreek Hill here? Those were pieces of the puzzle. Now you got the last piece, or one of the last pieces. You got to put it down. If you don't, the whole trading all these picks and all this stuff would be for nothing. It'd be signing Vic Fangio to the highest contract for a defensive coordinator would be for nothing. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I completely agree. I think, for me, and I've said it before, if this was Brian Flores led football team again, I think, the identity of a football team, and I've heard Color say this where I completely agree. It always takes the identity of the head coach, right? And I know Vic Fangio's here, but we have an offensive guy now. I don't think the priority is Christian Wilkins at the moment. I think the Miami Dolphins are trying to build around a core, and I think that core starts with obviously McDaniel, Waddle, Tua, and the final piece to your point, Ali, would be a Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you look at the 90s and that dynasty with the Dallas Cowboys, there was a thing called the triplets, right? Aikman, Irvin, Emmett. You could basically have your triplets if you pulled off a trade like this. And I would like to warn the fan base, not warn the fan base, but just kind of give the fan base, like, certain at points of times, teams that are good teams, they lose good players, right? So to gain players, you have to lose certain players. And I don't think nobody wants to lose Christian Wilkins, but I would just pose the question, if you could have Christian Wilkins here for the next 5 years, or you could have Jonathan Taylor here for the next 5 years, who would you want? Like, I mean, they're both good athletes, and I heard something you said, Ali, and I think with Jonathan Taylor, for me, right? He's not a top 5 player at the running back position. He's a top 10 player in the league. You see what I'm saying? I think there's a difference. I think that's the kind of guy you build around. And I don't know, man. I make the move, Ali. For me now. I can't speak for anybody else. I don't know how the building feels, but for me, I definitely make that move.
I agree. I would make this move too. But not just for the fact that he's a top 5 talent, but having somebody with his stature and ability can fix other problems that we have on this team. People are concerned about the offensive line. Well, here's something that you should know. Our actual run blocking on the offensive line is very strong. That's our strength of our.
It's actually our strong suit. Absolutely.
Yeah, agreed.
And you bring in a guy like this, he's going to make some of those offensive line problems go away, right? Because what's going to happen is it's going to make the defenses smaller in certain areas rather than bigger, right? Like, for example, without having Jonathan Taylor, it's making defenses bigger for the passing game. The passing game, they're going to be able to cover Tyreek and make sure they have coverage, and they're not so much worried where they have to respect our running game. It's mostly, right? When you have a Jonathan Taylor, yeah, they may stack the box, but that opens up Tyreek for a quick pass and on a go route, for example, or in the flats to Waddle or something really fast, fast paced. That's something that Tua excels at, right? I think that it covers some of those problems. Now, here's what, in my opinion, right? People are worried about the money. I'm not worried about the money because I think that the Miami Dolphins are smart enough to know that, one, if they make this move, it's going to be extending their window. Moves like this extend windows rather than shorten them. In addition,
besides the fact that the money that'll get him in the building is going to come out of Ross's pocket anyway.
That's what I'm talking about right there, Color. You took the words right out of my mouth. The money Ross is going to pay for, it's not going to come out so much out of the cap. They'll line it up where it's like a signing. I don't know, what is it called? A signing bonus or whatever. Whatever the amount is that they can pay that doesn't hit the cap.
Yep.
That's what they're going to do.
And that's
right?
basically good faith money to say, here's you some fun money, to take care of yourself for this first season with us, and this is good faith to show you that we will restructure properly. You know what I mean? And revisit. Sort of like he did with X, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we know you need a contract. Here it is. Here's $20 million out of Ross's pocket to have fun with until then. And that's good faith to say that we're gonna negotiate in good faith on your contract after this season or whenever the first moment we have the ability to.
Yeah, definitely 100%. So here's basically where I'm getting at. I think based on the fact that now you have Omar Kelly and the entire media talking about this, I I'm gonna go out and say it, and this is my prediction of this, and I'm gonna actually drop some information, a little bit, because I don't have all the details yet, but I confirmed a few things, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this possible trade is no longer possible. I want to say it's impending. This impending trade, as in it's gonna happen, is coming sooner than later.
Yeah.
I think within the next week, this is going to come to a conclusion. And I'll tell you why. Unlike the Dalvin Cook saga, if you want to call it that, there wasn't a lot of media. Like, there was a little bit, like, initially, that the media were talking about Dalvin Cook being, you know, a good fit for the Miami Dolphins. And it was primarily being driven, if you think about it, it was primarily being driven on what Dalvin Cook and his agent were doing when they were in front of the media. They were constantly the ones talking about Miami Dolphins. They were the ones
then
saying,
in
"Hey, I'd
turn
love to be
caused
there."
which then in turn caused the fan base and the mid-level media types to pump it.
Yeah. This, on the other hand, you don't see the media like talking to Jonathan Taylor and him saying, "Yeah, I want to play in Miami," or whatever. Now, hold that thought about what I just said there about him wanting to play in Miami, because hold that thought, because we're going to talk about that, and that's part of what some information that I want to share, right? So you don't have his agent going out and say, "Yeah, I want to play in Miami. My grandmother lives there," or something to that effect. You don't have him saying, "Hey, Miami, how do you think I'd look?" Anything. It's not being driven by that. It was being driven from another source altogether, and who that source may be, that part we're unaware of. But think about how everybody is talking about it.
But Ali, but
go ahead.
His agent is from South Florida, bro. Bring him home.
Yeah, that is
Sorry.
true. And hold that thought too. Like I said, hold those thoughts, Color. Hold those thoughts. So if you think about it, unlike that, everybody is talking about it. Everybody from mainstream media to the fans to the beat writers. I mean, in fact, Barry Jackson reported that among everybody in the media tent, they were discussing and arguing and debating if they should go after Taylor.
Ali, I haven't shaken so many Tuaneers' hands in all my life but this last week. You got disgruntled fans from all walks of life coming together on this one, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I'm saying. It's shaking the internet. My freaking Twitter feed was blasted with Jonathan Taylor stuff versus
and
Dalvin.
The smart money is on this trade to the Miami Dolphins. Vegas has us right now as the best odds to land him at plus 250.
Yes, we do have the best odds to land him. Now, this is part of the news, and make sure you hit like and subscribe, because I'm actually dropping a little bit of sauce. And I'm not going to tell you who my source is or anything. I will tell you that this person is connected in various different outlets, both with the media and with the team directly. That's all I will say, right? I have confirmation that Jonathan Taylor's agent, as soon as they were advised that they could go find a trade, knocked on Miami's door. They contacted Miami. So when that happened in the timeline, that I don't know. I don't know when this actually transpired. I don't know. All I can say, once he had permission, is when he did it. And we don't know exactly what day that was given to him, because they haven't really reported that. They just reported that he's been given permission. So I think that this has been going on for a little bit longer than what we know. Things in the media don't always come out as they happen. They come out later on, like it could be a couple days after the fact. You know what I mean? Look at it this way.
But Ali, wouldn't that be tampering? We don't do that around here. No.
I'm not talking about tampering, Color. I'm talking about the team may have given him permission before we were notified.
Before we knew about it, right? I got you. I was just saying,
I'll
like,
give you an example.
even if I don't think that we're afraid to talk to people when we're not supposed to, and that's been evident.
Yeah, I don't think Miami's making that mistake again. But here's the thing. Look at it this way. There's an article on Yardbarker that came out, and I don't remember the person's name that wrote it. And I know some people are debating if that person's, what is the word I'm looking at? If that person's accurate enough to be able to report this or whatever. But it's kind of funny how they report this, and then 2 days later, it comes out that he's gotten permission to speak with other teams and trade for a trade. That's the funny part, right?
Right.
So there must be some legitimacy to what he was stating, and what it was an article about how NFL executives are reporting that Miami has actually inquired about a trade with the Colts, right? They have actually inquired. Well, if that's the case, if they're already jumping the thing here, then 2 days later you find out that he's allowed to go seek out a trade. Maybe some of this stuff has happened before than when we know it. Specifically, when you look at the timeline of how things transpired with Dalvin Cook. And the reason I say that is because I believe it was like towards the end of the Dalvin Cook saga, basically right before he took his visit, that's when we found out about all this issues with Jonathan Taylor and the owner and how it went sour, right? Dalvin Cook went and visited New York, and then like he took like a week and a half before he finally signed. But there's been reports, from different people that Miami at some point was ghosting him out of nowhere. And if that's true, maybe they got wind of this disgruntled issue with Jonathan Taylor. They may have called the Colts, and it was a fluid issue that they've been kind of working on. And I really believe, based on some of the stuff I'm reading, if you got people like Omar Kelly and different people in the media already talking about what the contract would look like, I'm going to tell you that I really believe that they're already finalizing a deal, bro, both with his agent and with the Colts.
Hey, and it could still fall through if an 11th hour team comes in and just blows the deal out of the water. I'm just putting it out there so that people don't think we're being sycophants. That's all.
No, I'm not being sycophants. I'm going based on what is different between the Dalvin Cook saga and the Jonathan Taylor saga.
And look, Ali, here's the thing, man. That's like I illustrated yesterday. We have since the rebuild started, the full teardown in 2019, the tank year, when Greer assumed full control of everything. We have made a splash at wide receiver. We have made a splash at pass rusher. We have made a splash at corner. Okay, to start this offseason. What room is left? I know people will say offensive line, but come on, that's not the
we
same.
Made a splash at offensive
I'm talking about positional. I'm talking about positional ball handler type of player. The only one left is the running back room. So for people to say that Greer traditionally doesn't do this with running backs and this and that and the other, I challenge you to show me where you've got a hold of his outline of how he's building this team and what his timeline is. Because, like I said, we've already done the wide receiver, the pass rusher, and the corner. Who's left to get star power in the running back room? I mean, come on. Let's do it. Let's not try to find reasons why we're not going to get this done. You know what I mean? We can easily come up with reasons why we're not going to get this done. Just say Greer's going to sit on his hands and don't spend no more energy on it. You know what I mean? But the fact of it is, like, we're obviously seriously trying to go after this guy. The media is not hiding it. The organization is not countering it. So let's get him in here. He's a star power at running back.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that he would definitely be the splash. But I don't really, it's not really about splash. We're talking about a running back that has only played 3 seasons in the league, and even in the 3 seasons that he's played, 2 out of the 3 he rushed for over 1,000 yards, multiple touchdowns. Even the last season, because I don't know if it was because of injury or what it was that he only played 11 games. He still ran for almost another 1,000 yards. I think it was like 900 yards he had, something to that effect. You know what I mean? He's very consistent. I looked at his pass catching. People question this guy's pass catching. I'm sorry, there's nothing to question, bro. I've seen the passes that he caught in college. I've seen it in a regular game. He can catch the ball, right? Even his rookie season, he had 92% catch percentage. Come on now, 92%. That's better than some of our receivers we have on this team. You know what I mean? So, so that being said, the guy's super young. He's only 24 years old. You get this guy now, you get him locked in, and you've just extended your window, even beyond when Tyreek Hill eventually would have to, not that he has to, but let's say he retires or whatever. You know what I mean? You still have this guy in your backfield, right? So I think this is an impending trade. I think they're finalizing a deal, and it's coming from all fronts. The Dalvin Cook saga, if you remember, we were pulling teeth just to get information about any offers we made for Dalvin Cook, because that rumor started within the fan base, and trying to find information about it was like pulling teeth. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until like Barry Jackson reported something, and then several weeks down the road he reported something, and then like a month later it was reported a little tidbit, right? And it was very minimal information. The media is pouring out information left and right. So is Barry Jackson and the beat writers, even the fan base. So that's what I'm saying. That's what the difference is. I think there's more legs on this type of a deal than there was ever with Dalvin Cook. What do you think to that, Lewis? Lewis must be driving. What do you think, caller? I guess nobody can hear me right now. If you're in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if there's an issue with any audio or anything. Please put it in the chat if you guys can hear me. Yeah, so I think there's something wrong. Lewis and Color, back out and come back in if you need to. So there's something wrong with them. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear them at all? Maybe it's me. Okay, so can you guys hear Color and Lewis? Put that in the chat. No. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. Yeah, if you guys want, back out and come back in, see if that works. So, but anyway, that's what I think is happening. I think this is an impending deal. I think that within the next 48 hours, we're going to get more clarity of what's going on. But, nothing is ever guaranteed. So you never know. But based on where we're seeing things with the media and how things are flooding with Twitter and all the information that's imploding, along with what's coming out of the fan base, what Jonathan Taylor's and this is kind of what I was getting at before. Jonathan Taylor's agent is right here in South Florida. That's where his headquarters are. So he pretty much walked down the street or picked up the phone and said, "Hey, Chris, I can bring star talent to your running back room, and we can make this happen." That may have happened. You know what I mean? Based on what I've been told. And supposedly he's really, wants to come down here. We'll see. Right. Oh, there you are, Color. I don't know what happened.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to step away for just a sec, Ollie.
No, it's all good. I thought I lost y'all. Lewis
no,
is answering.
Actually, I honestly thought you were gonna. I thought I had enough time with the what you were about to say.
yeah, I'm here too. I was just doing something in the warehouse real quick.
No worry, I know you're working, bro. I appreciate you being up here though. So yeah, what do you think, Lewis? Do you think this is impending? Do you think that it's going to be happening soon, or do you think is it all smoke and mirrors? Like, what do you think? What do you think?
No, I think I was listening to your assessment. I think you're spot on, Ali. I think this gets done before our next preseason game, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think the Miami Dolphins have realized, listen, they've been in contact with almost every running back that's either available or maybe in question of being available. And I think Jonathan Taylor is the last resort, right? I think this is, not only is he the last running back, he's the best running back out of all the ones we looked at. Things that I've heard, rumblings going around, just different places and conversations, I've heard that the Miami Dolphins are more willing to pay Jonathan Taylor than other running backs, and it's because of the age. You know, this kid is 23. He's about to be 24 years old. I just think that Miami is at a point now where we're always talking about going all in, and I think they're going to make a move like this, and they're going to show everybody that they are all in. I really do. I think you've been spot on with all your assessments, Ali.
And
I
Louis, to
think
that point,
Jonathan Taylor is a done deal.
That's why I brought up the splashes we've made, because all of the moves those 3 moves that we've made were all signals that we're all in. Why would we stop giving that signal?
Yeah.
You know, why would we stop giving that signal at the running back room? No, we're not going to get a star power at running back room. That's the one position we're not going to make a splash at for some reason, but we're all in. You know, nah, yeah. I agree with Lewis here.
Well, and again, see, the people always cry about the money, right? And what I remember, Ali, what I said earlier, it's about, you might have to lose good players to add good players, right? But if you look at it, bro, Emmanuel Ogbah, if you really wanted to either end the trade or even if he was on the team next year, the money that the cap hit for Jonathan Taylor this year would be barely minimal at anything. I think it would be $4 million because he's still on his rookie deal. So let's say Emmanuel Ogbah wasn't in that contract or in the deal to send to Indianapolis. Next year, you could move off of him and you save $18 million? I mean, there's a tough decision here. How about a guy like Xavier Howard, right? I said about 2 weeks ago, Xavier Howard, in my estimation, should be a Miami Dolphin, right? But now things change. I'm not building no more this football team, Ali, in color around Xavier Howard, right? So if I could get a young, thoroughbred running back to build around, and I would have to, let's say, maybe move off of X next year, what's that saving? About 19, 20 million next year? You know, Jerome Baker, like, are we building or are we willing to lose Jonathan Taylor over keeping Jerome Baker? Like, there's money to be made all over the place. I think Neil Driscoll, for the people that don't know, he was in Twitter with us yesterday, or on X, whatever you want to call it. He laid out a scenario like next year, there's maybe 4 or 5 moves. Bro, you can easily save up to $85 million in cap space next year. Now, again, you're losing some guys, but, I mean, listen, Terrell Suggs didn't finish his career out with the Baltimore Ravens, right? Like, Rodney Harrison didn't finish his career out with the San Diego Chargers. Good players move around eventually, and I just, hopefully for our team, we don't make a mistake and try to hold on to players and lose out on others. Because in my opinion, Jonathan Taylor is better than anything we have on this roster that we would be losing. You see what I'm saying?
We potentially already drafted Xavier Howard's replacement with Cam Smith, bro. That's
and we also brought in another supplement in free agency. I mean, we got Ramsey and Smith now.
Yeah,
you had Cater Coley last year.
Yeah, I can understand if we're holding on because there's nobody else better than him, you know, and that's the reality of it. But in this case, you got options, bro. You got Cam Smith, who's putting up daily pass blocks all the time, and you know, is trying to get into that groove of being that ball hawk, which is exactly what Xavier Howard is.
And what is one of the needs of the Indianapolis Colts while we're at that?
You did mention that corner is something they
absolutely
need.
Color. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would be okay with sending a corner over there, but at the same time, I've been told that they're looking for depth at the trenches. In the spaces yesterday, I know you discussed it. You know, I believe you were there, Lewis, but I want to say it was Spliff or somebody said something along the lines that Kendall Lamb can actually play right tackle or something like that. Did you hear anything about that? That he can play right tackle?
He can play a little right tackle. Supposedly, he's been giving some playing time to him at right tackle in the building. So,
Yeah, so
he's like pushing for it.
So, we could send Austin Jackson over there too. That might be a landing spot for him. Just saying. These are possibilities. I know I jokingly was talking about Eichenberg, but that's only because we all know that Eichenberg really hasn't turned out for us. But that doesn't mean just because he hasn't turned out for us that he's not going to turn out for another team. And I did make a connection in the sense of how close Notre Dame is to Indianapolis. So, and they were previously interested in him before under the other regime. Now, I know I got laughed at by Level 2 Noob who lives in that area. I get it, but I was just saying, hey, for shits and giggles, maybe we could do that. Or an Austin Jackson as a depth piece. Who knows? There's other positions on that offensive line that, we could maybe trade over there as well. But let's.
Well, I think I didn't even hear, again, things that I've heard, Ali, right? I don't think Indianapolis is in the position where they want any players, to be honest. I think look, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think a deal like what the 49ers gave Carolina last year for CMC, 2 seconds, I believe it was a third or fourth and the next year's fifth. I believe something like that gets this done.
Yeah, I do think that one player will be included. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a running back, someone out of the room, to be honest. Let it be Jeff Wilson, maybe, or, I hate to see who other people could be, but I don't think they're going to give up.
Ali, on that note, I find it
Go ahead.
interesting of who Omar thought would be the trade pieces in that article. I thought it was interesting how we all talk about trade pieces, and then Omar has his idea of who would be, the trade pieces. A couple of them are similar, but he threw in Jeff Wilson into that mix.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson is a possibility. Here's another name I'll give you, and only because I've talked to Colts fans and some other Colts podcasters and what they think from their inner circles. Quite a few Colts fans, surprisingly colored to your benefit, are high on Gaskins. I don't understand why or what the connection is there, but
well, if you don't understand why, you never will, bro. It's a Gaskin thing, man.
I don't understand it, to be honest. I'm like, really, you want Gaskins and not Jeff Wilson? And I was like, okay, you can have.
It's just interesting. It's like every time I see the guy touch the ball, he gashes the defense. I don't know what people can't see, man. Like,
he did look good against Atlanta's defense a little bit. He had some runs. But again, he got knocked again, and that's what I'm talking about. People were wondering why we're addressing this room.
It's because he's so small and his stride is so short. He doesn't look like he'd be a good NFL running back. He doesn't look the part, but he actually is.
We got level 2 noob.
Yeah, I understand you laugh at that, but these are what my friends that are Colts fans that have told me that they're interested in. Not the team. I'm not saying that's who they'd be interested in. Just kind of funny how I've heard it from multiple people now that they like Gaskin. I don't know why they keep saying.
So Ali, how much you got left on this morning's agenda? Because we got about 25 minutes left.
Let me see what else.
If
there was another article.
I don't know if you were. I don't know if you're maybe. Well, I don't know if you're maybe keen on possibly seeing if Noob wants to come up and give a full take or something and throw him a.
Yeah, if you want to send him the link.
It's up to him. It's up to him.
Yeah, Noob, put it in the chat if you want to come up and speak your piece about this, because I've seen you comment and watch our show for several days in a row. So come on up here.
And the man is got a firm temperature on the situation because he's up there in Indy getting bombarded with the local Indianapolis news about it. Which apparently they're talking about it just as much as we are, so, I'm sure the audience would love to actually hear your insight. But it's Ali is the show host, and I don't know what our agenda is. I was just putting that out there.
Absolutely. Well, I know I did want to touch on something because I was listening the whole time, and I think I wanted to be
go for
on board with what Ali was saying. Because Ali, I heard the exact same thing. As soon as the Indianapolis Colts gave Jonathan Taylor permission to seek a trade, that first phone call was to none only the Miami Dolphins. And I'll throw in another little kicker, a little nugget here. From what I was told, Jonathan Taylor has informed the Indianapolis Colts the only one he wants to work out a deal with is the Miami Dolphins. So
I did hear that too, Lewis. I wasn't sure how firm that rumor was, but I did hear that tidbit too.
Listen, take it for a grain of salt. But again, we all know Vegas is in the business of making money. They do not like to lose money. The Vegas odds going across the board, the best landing spot to land Jonathan Taylor is our beloved Miami Dolphins. So I just wanted to reconfirm.
Plus 250, what they're saying is right. Yeah. And at plus 250, what they're saying is the smart money. You know, sure, smart money's not going to go make a big investment on plus odds usually. But what that's saying is at plus 250, that's close to the range where a big money guy, a whale, would actually feel comfortable in making a large investment. Because if you put $10,000 on that plus 250, you're returning what, 25,000? You know what I mean? So,
right.
You know, it gets to that point where it starts to become smart money territory. Plus 250, it's still honey territory, but you're starting to get the whales take notice and say, hey, that's something I can invest and be a, you know, not a sure bet, but a wise investment. You know what I mean?
Right. And I see Kevin Hunt's in here saying he doesn't buy that he only wants a contract Miami rumor, right? He heard the same thing about Cook. The one thing I would advise Kevin is, right, yeah, I think Cook wanted Miami. I don't think Miami so much wanted Dalvin Cook. I think we already heard about a low ball offer with Miami. So I think Miami
look at it this way.
Hey, look, Kevin's wise to be cautious too. Kevin's wise to be cautious too. Don't you know?
Let's look at it this way. Who is driving that Cook rumor? If you really go back and look at it and go back to the timeline of things, the only two people that were driving that Cook rumor were one, the Miami Dolphin fans, and two, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook and his agent going on, Miami Sports Music Show or going on Fox and ESPN and doing Good Morning Football or whatever, whoever it is. It was always Dalvin Cook or the fans pushing that narrative. Oh, I'd love to play in my hometown team. I want to play for a winner and blah, 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 blah. And the fans buying into it, or, certain people within the fans saying that they've heard this or that, the other. But if you look at the media, yeah, they talked about it when referencing Dalvin Cook and his possible places that Miami would be a great fit. But it never was, oh, Dalvin Cook has interest with the Miami Dolphins. You look at what Barry Jackson, who I want to say is probably one of the most reputable beat writers around here, he even getting information from him for the Dalvin Cook saga was like pulling teeth. That's how less legs it really had, right? And we heard about this supposed offer that we got, and that it was, now they're saying it was laughable, right? I don't really think Miami was all in on Dalvin Cook whatsoever. I think they flirted around with the idea. It could be smoke and mirrors. Remember, we knew that they were interested in bringing a wide receiver in before they brought in Tyreek Hill, and that came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? This deal is kind of similar. We know that they were interested in running back, and it kind of materialized out of nowhere, to be honest. Same kind of concept. So
I'm with it. That's all I'm saying. I'm with it.
Yeah, Kevin Hans is correct. We did go back. El Cap did do a poll, and we all selected JT. I agree. JT is who I would go with too, to be honest, if I had my choice. So, but yeah, man. I think this is a lot different. I think that I think that there's more legs to it because of how many people and who's speaking about it. What else you got? You got anything else, Color? That's really all the stuff I had for today. You know, you talked about it, how Vegas is giving us the best odds. What else you got? Anything else?
Still no update on the local news with the Palm Beach Central High and the investigation on nefarious residential reporting. But other than that, I'm kind of out of it. I mean, this biggest news is JT right now. We are officially in JT watch around here at TFTG. So I'll be ready to go as soon as we get word on it. One of us will be ready to go.
Yep, 100%. I agree. Just trying to check the media or the Twitter and stuff, see if there's any more up to date.
And let's be real, we here at TFTG have not been joining in the hype when it comes to these running backs, but this is a serious deal, and I'm willing to put my name behind it as far as talking about it as a real possibility. I really don't think there was ever a real possibility with the running backs we've seen so far, but this is different. This is completely different. This is something that when people talk about Chris Greer always wanting to win the deal and all that, you're talking about getting rookie control. I understand that he's going to demand a contract right away. I get it. But you're still talking about trading for a rookie contract of a player that has already proven to be star power in the NFL. Okay, would you rather be the Indianapolis Colts or some other team at the negotiation table with Jonathan Taylor, or would you rather it be us? That's what we're trading for, not the man himself. Okay, the man gets paid for. We pay for the man. We trade for the contract, and that's what we're trading for here. And if Chris Greer can get this deal done, this is a huge win for Chris Greer.
Yeah, 100%. It's a huge win for the Miami Dolphins. Let's be real, for the Miami Dolphins and for the fans, because it allows them to extend their window. You know, this is the type of move that does that.
And as far as adding the patience involved and not knee jerking on Dalvin Cook and others, knowing that this might come down the pike, being prepared for it and making the deal, that would set Chris Greer in a different mindset in most of our fans' minds, and including mine.
Okay, so Kevin Lee is asking, do you think that Wilkins goes in a trade and still say yes, since it's like a first rounder plus a pick maybe? No, I don't think Wilkins goes with this trade at all. I think the Colts won, kind of like what Lewis said. I think they're looking more for picks than players. I think they'll take one of our running backs only because they need one. But I don't know if trading Christian Wilkins, especially for what he's asking, I don't even know if the Colts would want him if he's asking that high. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think about? What do you think about that, Lewis?
Yeah, I don't think Christian Wilkins is being involved in a deal like this. I think the plan is to have Christian Wilkins on the team at least for this year. If he was going to get moved, in my opinion, it would be more at a trade deadline type of move. But I do think Christian Wilkins will be part of the team. Again, I think, without saying too much, from what I've heard, it's Indianapolis is looking for picks. And everybody keeps saying, they want a first round. Well, every morning I wake up and I go to the local corner store to play the lottery. I want to win it, but that doesn't mean I win it, right? They can want what they want.
Right.
The fact is the market probably ain't going to dictate a first round pick. I'm just hoping Chris Greer doesn't let this slip out of his hands. We have multiple opportunities here, fellas, to get generational talents, right? We had Deshaun
We have
Watson.
the ability to do it. It might hurt us a little bit, but we have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I just look at it from the perspective of how many guys are we going to let go that are generational talents. We let go of Watson, right? We let go of Lamar. This guy is a guy that, bro, you can build around. This is not a Dalvin Cook that was 28 years old, last leg of his career. This is a guy you can mold in the culture that we're trying to build now, right in the Miami Dolphins. Just Chris Greer, go get it done. Go get it done.
Exactly, Lewis. Right back to what I said about the splashes we've made. You got we got Tyreek Hill, and we got Jalen Waddle to follow up behind him for the future. We got Bradley Chubb. We got Jalen Phillips to follow him up behind for the future. We've got Jalen Ramsey, okay, who is following up X, but we also got Cam Smith to follow him up in the future. And now we got Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., A-Chain to follow up Jonathan Taylor, who is already following up Mostert. So this is like a no-brainer to me. And there's 2 points I want to make is that about what Lewis was just saying. The first point being that Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated did a poll yesterday of NFL executives, and his results showed that the NFL executives on a whole estimate that the trade, after being medically cleared, would be worth about a top day 2 pick. Okay. Yeah. Now, the second point I'll make is that the Colts are asking for is not a first round pick. They're asking for the equivalence of a first round pick.
And Christian McCaffrey didn't go. So
when you're talking about when you're talking about. But hold on, but we immediately think of, well, a second and a third is equivalent and all that, or a third and 2/4 or whatever. But we forget that a player could provide that equivalency too. If you're sending them a player that would require a first round to pick to draft, then that's also first round equivalency in my estimation. You see what I'm saying? So, again, when it comes to a player, unfortunately, people don't want to hear this, but when you're talking about that W I was talking about earlier of getting a guy with rookie control still, you're going to have to give up a player that we have rookie control of. Let's be honest. That's a fair trade. And, who is that going to be? Who could that possibly be? And I'll leave it at that. Y'all can decide for yourselves.
Well, Ali, do you see level 2 Noob's latest?
I'm about to bring this up.
That's going to what I just was saying earlier. That's the same thing I heard. It's a magnitude of picks. It's not one pick. It's not just a first and a player. They're looking for a CMC haul. Let's say 2 seconds.
They're looking for a first round equivalency. Exactly. Because if we give them a bunch of seconds and thirds and whatever, they could eventually parlay that into a first round pick if they needed to in the future.
Agreed, Color.
There's this is the truth. So Ohio State's wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. is pretty much, in my opinion, a lock to be the first receiver off the board.
And to be honest with you, I think that's who Irsay is after. I honestly think that's who Irsay is after. You got generational talent. Hold on, you got generational talent in Marvin Harrison, but you also got. It's family alum right there. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is family
alum. And Irsay loves that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and this guy, this guy straight up is legit, bro. I told Crypto this because Crypto's favorite receiver is not a Miami Dolphin. It's Justin Jefferson. That's Crypto's favorite player if he's a fan of a player in all of NFL, right? I told him that this kid has talent enough to maybe dethrone Justin Jefferson. That's how good this wide receiver is, right? I've shown you a video of Marvin Harrison Jr. color, and you said your mouth dropped to the floor. You were drooling over it.
Oh, he's going to pick right up where his daddy left off. Absolutely. No, 100%, no doubt in my mind.
Catching ability, his route running, everything, right? And then on top of it, it's been reported this offseason he worked on his speed. He's now a 4.3 guy. So the speed is there too. So this guy, in my opinion, could be as high as a top 5 pick. Just saying. So that's why
I could see that.
That's why you want multiple picks so they could move up and still have picks on the back end. You know what I'm saying?
And let's be real. Irsay wants that name in the building, man. You got to imagine that Irsay is a knee jerker like that and says, "Oh, best receiver, one of the best receivers we've ever had in the building, and his son is becoming available. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's
money. That's money bags for Irsay. That's all he sees is dollar signs with that.
Mm-hmm. Joe Riss says Ross still owes us a first-round pick. Oh, that's funny.
Thing too. I mean, you done spent our capital to even do a deal like this.
Mhm.
You got a chance to do it and make up for it. Do it.
Yeah. Level 2 noob. I heard that Harrison and Reggie Wayne was at camp for the Colts yesterday. I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I said one of the best talents they've ever had. I didn't want to throw no shade on Reggie Wayne.
No,
I love me some UM, bro.
Kind of like what you said. Didn't Reggie Wayne was basically brought in to follow Marvin Harrison, kind of like, didn't he was the next guy essentially, or I could be wrong about that. Color.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So this is interesting. Aronde Gatson, former Dolphin, has a son in college football. I didn't know that. Interesting. Lewis, since I have you here, man, what's the skinny on your kid? I heard he has a new offer or a couple new offers.
Well, it's not a formal offer yet, but he has been invited to the University of Florida. So we'll be taking a trip up there to UF to visit the campus, meet all the coaches, and kind of recruiting trip and whatever, and we'll see how it goes. But again, that's the biggest offer so far. A big D1 program, SEC program. So, we'll see how it goes, man. I'm just happy for him.
Make sure you learn the boy how to tease them, bro. He might be able to walk out of there with a brand new car, man, without even signing a deal.
I definitely appreciate that. Listen, again, he has aspirations to one day play in the league, right? But for me as a father, and I think most fathers would agree, to be able to go to college, play a game that you love, and get a free education, that for me was the most gratifying thing. So just happy for him. Hopefully he stays healthy. His senior season is already off to a good start, and we'll see where it goes. But I appreciate you asking, Ollie, for real.
Definitely. And I have a follow-up question, because yesterday Michael K put it out there that your son one day may be playing for the Bills. Do you have any thoughts or anything to say to Michael K to that?
Yes, Michael K, I just want you to know, if that does happen, we will be doing the Eli Manning route, and we will be holding out in the draft. We will force our trade draft night. We will not don on blue and red. I can promise you that. So
you're gonna pull a Favre on him, huh?
we will pull a Favre, Eli Manning, a Phillip Rivers. We will not be throwing on the
John
jerseys
Elway.
of blue and red. Yeah, exactly. We will definitely not be playing for the Bills.
Dang. All right, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, shout out to Lewis's son.
I gotta do it. What if they offer him the very first fully guaranteed contract in NFL history? Do you turn it down?
Well, at that point, we'll be wearing red and blue color at that point.
What if they offer you a lifetime supply of wings, buffalo wings?
Wings are not going to do it, but
if they throw in the Flutie Flakes, I might do it, man. I don't know.
Oh my god! Are you serious? I still can't believe Levis signed a deal in mayonnaise, dude. That's kind of messed up. I don't know if he actually signed a deal where it's like fully in mayonnaise or whatever, or is that just a perk where they're giving him a lifetime supply? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Did you hear about that, Lewis?
I did. I was listening earlier when you guys were talking about it. It's crazy.
I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
What's
like
up,
I said,
Raphael? How you doing?
Color, to answer your question specifically, right? If they're offering a fully guaranteed contract as his agent, right, that will receive 10%, I will advise my client to take that deal.
Oh man,
What's up, Raphael Church? How you doing, buddy?
what is up? Let's see. We got 5 minutes left. Color. Anybody have any questions? Please put it in the chat. Me, Lewis, and Color will answer them before we close this down. But good start to today. What else we got lined up, Color? Do we have what's the next show for today?
Dang. Well, supposing we don't hear any Jonathan Taylor news, today is Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're gonna have El Capitan tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are. I'm just looking to see what's scheduled for today. There's so much pre-scheduled. If you go to our YouTube
I've got a
channel.
lot of
I
energy
know.
today. You never know. With this whole Jonathan Taylor thing, man, there may be people wanting to chop it up. I might be forced
Smoke Lounge is going at 6. I know
Right,
that.
right. Me and Shake Money going at 6 o'clock. Smoke Lounge. Yep.
I mean, I may figure something out for early afternoon to give us somewhere to talk about all this. But whenever I do that, I end up like, going overboard for like 15 hours whenever I do that. But, maybe I can catch Shake up before the drive time today, before the Smoke Lounge.
Yeah.
tonight.
El Cap, I think, has a show lined up this week, but he has like a super busy week coming up with all these interviews that he's doing.
Mhm.
And which you'll find out soon who those people are, because it's pretty big. But I think there's some scheduling that has to be done. So I think he's kind of not necessarily going this week only because of that. But next week he's going to be in full swing, because it's like not just 1 or 2. I think it's like 3 or 4 people that he has lined up to do interviews with. So it's going to be really crazy.
And then tomorrow you will have the second installment of Crypto's new show going to midday, and I will be joining him as co-host on that one for Crypto and a Cup of Color.
Yeah, so you got that on Thursday, and you always have Top of the Tailgate every morning at 6 a.m. And then we got Friday. Is that the same? Yeah. That
should
Friday,
be the drive time.
Yep. Dude, have you seen the drive times thumbnail?
Listen, I showed my wife last night. You guys are. I'm gonna send it in the group chat. A picture of my mother-in-law. I thought when I seen the thumbnail, I thought that was my mother-in-law. I'm talking about that's her doppelganger. That is her.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my god, yeah. But HP has been working some wonders, man. I love our thumbnails, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good. I know Sunday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern time. I will be doing the post-game recap show for our Saturday night game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that should be good.
Awesome.
So Level 2 Noob wants to know, Taylor wants 15 to 18, maybe convince him to take 12 to 15. How did the Dolphins pay that contract? We can't even make the money work next year with cap manipulation. Well, first of all, there's way your owner can open up his own pocketbook so it doesn't hit the cap. That's number one. And I think a deal like this, your owner is going to do a lot of that. So most of the money is going to be paid by him. In addition, there's some moves we can still make that we haven't done yet to open up cap space. Let it be cutting Crossan from the cornerback position. That saves like what, $3 million? We haven't done that yet, right? I don't believe.
No, we have not. Nope.
Yeah, so that will save you $3 million right there. There's other things we could do very easily. Let it be cuts or manipulating the deal. Plus, he's on a rookie deal still, which I believe he's only going to cost what, $4 million.
It's last year of the rookie deal. Yep.
Yeah, so
and that's the other thing too, that whatever deal we do with him right now is not going to hit the cap until next year anyway.
Yeah, and the cap is going to go up because they're going to finally get that YouTube money.
Right. Yep. Real quick, Ali and Lewis, check this out. I'm here at McDonald's grabbing an egg and cheese biscuit and all that, and I'm ready to put my, how you have to put your table number in the thing now. So I walked right up to this kiosk, and I'm about to put my table number in and check out what number I got.
Oh, 28. Oh, 56. Mm.
Oh, yeah, man. Look, I'm putting it right in 56. There you go.
I thought it was going to be 28 too. I
Oh,
was
if
like,
it would have been 28, I'd have been like, oh my God, that would have been, man.
Right.
yeah.
By the way, my
No.
birthday is the 28th of February, just so you all know.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting, Color. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
it's
Doris
happening.
is asking,
It's happening because of that.
and Doris is asking $18 million. Who does he think? He's Derrick Henry? No, I don't think he's asking for 18 million. I think he just wants, from what I've heard, it's 12 to 15 million, but that's just what's being reported.
Well, that's also the consensus, I think. Remember the poll Albert Breer did about, the trade. He didn't do a poll about the money, but I would estimate that that's the going thought from executives, is that that's probably what anybody would be willing to do, 12 to 15.
Yeah, I think that's where it's at. Not anything more. And that makes sense to what Omar was saying, that Christian Wilkins is going to cost double what Jonathan Taylor's asking. So, which is the 12 to 15 mil is basically what he said.
Well, gentlemen, I will let you end the show. I'm gonna get out of here. Ollie, appreciate you letting me up, Color. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Lewis.
And I will catch you guys later.
Fins up, man. Definitely.
Later.
All right. Later. All right, man. So it's 8 o'clock. It's my hard stop. Color, you got any final thoughts?
I do not, except, man, I mean, I don't mean to sound like a fanboy and all that, but this is it, people. This is the deal we got to do. It really is.
Agree.
I mean, this is one of those deals that you can measure Chris Greer's career on. So we'll see what happens going forward. Let's hope it happens soon instead of later, because if it happens, boy, we're going to have a lot to talk about, and it is going to make this place explode.
So thank you for the $5 donation, Mr. Polk. Mr. Polk says, Ali, Color, and Lewis, keep up the great shows in the morning. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you for the donation. Listen, the reality comes down to it is that the Miami Dolphins need to make this move. We do need that finishing move. Moves like this is what sets the tone for your team for the upcoming year and so on. I think Miami Dolphins... Sorry
about that, Ollie. One last-minute disconnection. Why not?
Yeah, I think the Miami Dolphins have to do this. I absolutely really do. And it's not... if you look at it, our running back room is already getting injuries. If they're this fragile now, imagine what it is down the road into our playoff run. This is a move that's going to extend your window. Now, your level 2 noob is asking, he's talking about next year because Driscoll broke it down and how we're going to be able to afford this. It is going to come at the cost of not re-signing certain players. Who those players will be, we're going to have to determine this season. But I do think that I honestly think they're going to get things worked out with Christian Wilkins, and that's going to open up cap space as well. So there's some things that can be done here. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the final details are of this deal, and then we can go from there. But we will talk about them either in the next show or Friday show. Hold on, I'm gonna feel bad for at least a minute when.
I'm with Noob on that. I'm with Noob on that because
it's true. Nothing's.
I'll be honest with you, Noob. I'll be honest with you, Noob. They're selling me right now. I'm buying hook, line, and sinker. So I'm gonna laugh at myself right in the mirror too.
Color was never sold on the Cook deal at all. This one, like I said, based on who's talking about it and how everybody's talking about it, it feels like there's so much more legs to this one. Specifically, the people that, some sources that the channel has and how they're connected to people. I'm just telling you right now, I kind of think that they're more in the mindset of finalizing a deal rather than exploring a deal.
And look, I know how to self-deprecate, so if it don't happen, I'm going to be the first one to be laughing my ass off at myself in the mirror, Noob. So don't worry about that, man. I'll be right there with you.
We'll be right there with laughing with you, definitely. And then we'll be laughing at Greer, what a failure he is at the same time. But anyway, you all have a good day. It was a pleasure. We'll see you at 6 a.m. This is Top of the Tailgate. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and check out the links below. And leave your comments below, and put your comments of what you want the next cause for Cleat will be. I'm going to look over those from yesterday's show and today and make sure we shout them out. But with that, you all have a great night or a great day, I should say. Sorry, fins up.